Hi everybody, it's that time again. It's 7 o'clock on Sunday night, so it's time for Mary's Craft Room, live Sundays at 7. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you had a great weekend, a great week. I know I did. Still recovering from surgery, but doing great. Weaning out of my boot. I've got 4 hours in shoes, so that's pretty good. I'll be going back to work soon. This month has just flown by. Tonight, what I want to do is show you the next of my new stamp sets. This one is called Lighting the Way, and I love this one. It is so cool. I'm gonna open it up. Mine's kind of a mess, but lots of dies in here. There are 14 dies that come with it, and all kinds of stamps. These have got little fireflies to go with the lantern, and we'll be using the lantern tonight, as you can see on the card. So we're going to get into this in a minute, but first I want to do a little other housekeeping stuff. We'll talk about a few things going on. This, of course, is the monthly host code. If you choose to order with me, you can go online and use that host code for me. The next thing I want to talk about is we are in the midst of Celebration. I've shown you all of the Celebration products that I have. Made some cards with it, some carrot cards so far, and tonight we're using some Celebration paper. We're actually going to use, let's find the one we're going to use. Here it is, Dainty Flowers on page 6, which would be free with a $50 order. So the card that we're doing, if you ordered that bundle and then got you could get the paper free. We'll double check the price on that. But I believe if you ordered that bundle, you could get that paper free. So it's beautiful paper, all kinds of pretty stuff in it. So that's a great set. I've gotten a few of those already. All right. And then along with that is the mini catalog with all the new stuff that I've been showing. And let's look in the back here. I'm going to find Light the Way. And that one's a bundle, so we'll look at the bundle pages. And it's nice because they started putting these now alphabetical, which I love. They didn't used to be alphabetical, and it is very nice. Okay, so here is Light the Way, and that can be found on page 18. And the bundle is $48.50, so you would need to add just a little something else, maybe a pack of dimensionals or some linen thread to that, and you would have your $50, and you could get the free paper that goes with that coordinates with this. This is a very cute card that they've done. On here I can see where they've got the little dot by the fireflies, but you'll see later that I did something a little bit different, but had the right idea. Okay, so this catalog is good through the month of April. Celebration is only good through February. So those two go together. All right, and then the next thing I want to tell you about is this month I started a 3D class. So once a month I'm going to do a 3D item, and the first one we're going to do is this 5x7 notebook. I think it was Nicole from our team that had done this in a swap for me several years ago, and I still have the instructions for it. I've made many of them, sold many at craft fairs. Hi Mary, hi Bonnie. Everybody loves them, and I've had many requests for people to learn how to make them. So we're going to do this Wednesday night, 6:30 at my house. I have 4 people already, and there's room for 2 more if anybody local is interested. $7, you walk away with the notebook, and you walk away with the instructions so you can go home and make some more of them. This is all retired paper, and there's times when all of us crafters, we've got the retired stuff, we have to use it. So I'm going to be using some on my 3D projects. I have a lot of this paper and everybody loves it, so there are going to be options on what paper you choose, what color background, either Night of Navy or I think Seaside Spray, or possibly Old Olive, and then you can pick the pattern paper you're going to have on it. And then I will have the die cuts ready for you. Super easy to make. It'll be done in probably less than an hour. But Wednesday night, message me if you're interested. Wednesday night, 6:30, $7. You walk away with this and the instructions to make more. All right, so that's this month's 3D, and I will post next month soon. So now let's get back on to our card. So the card I did tonight, I've got two different ones. Okay. So there's 3 sentiments on this stamp set. I love this stamp set. So cute. Thanks for lighting the way. Follow your dreams, and you are all kinds of wonderful. I can see it for a birthday card. I can see it for just thanking somebody. You know, maybe you're at work and they encouraged you, or anybody encouraging you doing something. Follow your dreams. Wouldn't that be a great graduation card for somebody? I think all of this would fit for graduation. Super cute. And then we've got the 3 different sizes of fireflies, the little dots that light up their butts for the fireflies, and this is a little swirl of fireflies going away, and some leaves and grass that you'll see we'll use tonight. All right, so what I did this morning was I chose to do, and I'll show you how this fold works. I got this idea from my friend Lisa Krogan. So what I chose to do was I did one called Follow Your Dreams. And I love just filling up the bottom, and there's only a little bit of white in there. There's plenty of room for you to write on. And you can see I've got my fireflies coming out of the grass. And then what I like is that you can see some color on the white behind this piece. And also you'll see that on my lantern, I put a little vellum so it looks like glass under there, so it looks like an actual lantern. It'd be nice if there was maybe some yellow in there. If I had some colored vellum, that might work too. But I really liked the gold shimmer paper. So I'll show you that in a second too. And then the other one I did, thanks for lighting the way. And then on the envelopes, I put the bigger firefly. So I stamped, you'll see on here, I stamped gold just around the whole thing to kind of glow around the firefly, where I believe they just kind of go from the butt down for the firefly. So I don't think anything in crafting is wrong. Whatever you choose to do, you choose to do. And then I added the twine just because the flowers just looked like nature, and I thought I'd add a little natural touch to the card. All right, so let's put some of these things away here and show you some of the products we're using. So of course I'm using my linen thread. I am using the pastel adhesive backed sequins, the gold. I am using the sheet in the Dainty Flowers design, and I used both sides for the card. Okay, and I love this. It's got the flowers on the background, very subtle. So it was a nice piece to go behind. It doesn't have to be solid. It gives it a little color and texture. And then we are using the gold from the Fine Shimmer package. This is all with the bundle, or excuse me, you can find it in the mini catalog. And you can find these in the mini catalog also. All new stuff, all new product. All right, so then how do we make this card? So I'm going to show you how it starts. So it starts with, oh, you're watching from Wisconsin. Good. Hi, Sue. Hi, Shar. Where are you in Wisconsin? I'm in Johnson Creek, halfway between Madison and Milwaukee. Hi, Lorraine. Okay, so what we do for this card, guys, is this is Blackberry Bliss. No, Rich Razzleberry, sorry. I get those two mixed up all the time. Rich Razzleberry, because that's one of the colors in the paper. I used all the colors that coordinate with the paper. Rich Razzleberry, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive. Those are the 3 colors that I'm going to be using, okay? Blushing Bride is in there also. So this card, guys, is 4 1/4 by 11, all right? We score at 5 1/2, and then you take one end and you cut 3 inches off, all right? You cut that 3 inches off of one end, and then you're left with this, and then you turn the card this way, and that 3 inches now becomes this nice flap in the front. You turn it that way. Isn't that easy? It's quick and easy for something different. Instead of just a regular up and down fold, vertical or horizontal fold, you've got a little extra zhuzh to your card. All right? Okay. Oh, and from Minnesota. All right, Carol, way to go. Oshkosh. Well, I've been to Oshkosh, Shar, that's for sure. Um, I actually got to my first Packer game just a couple years ago, first time ever. A friend had some money to burn, he said. So he rented a suite for us, and there was 19 of us, and we had a ball. There's no other way to go to the Packer game. I don't know if I'll ever get there again like that, but it was a blast. Okay, so anyway, let's go on to the card. And then the pieces that coordinate, then I have my paper. We've got the DSP on this side, the field of flowers like, and then the pink, the blushing bride on the back. So I cut this piece for up here, and that is going to be 4. So this ends up being 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. So this is going to be 4 by 2 1/4. And I thought I had everything here, and my adhesive is not here. I even looked at it and thought, make sure you have your adhesive over there. I have it now, and it looks like it's going to run empty. All right. Always technical difficulties. Always technical difficulties. Okay, so I've got my refill to put in, and we will go ahead, and I'm going to get some adhesive on here if I've got any left. I can see my red tape coming at the end. So we'll get that on there. And the colors are so pretty. I just love them. And we'll just edge that. That'll look good. Then we're going to take this one. You'll see this card goes together so quickly too. So we'll take this and put a little adhesive on the back of that. And I'm out. Okay. So I know a lot of people use the green glue, which I do for some things, but I really love the Stampin' Seal Plus. It's a little pricier, I'm not going to lie, but I love how it holds. I love how it uses. I use the Stampin' Seal, but truthfully, I like the Plus better. So I spend a lot of money on that because I get a lot of them. I always have about 10 on hand, I'm not going to lie. I have a little store behind me where I have all my cash and carry adhesives, so when people come to class, they can just, if they need something, they can pick up some dimensionals or glue or seal, whatever they need. All right, now we're ready to get back and put this on. And then we'll go like that. I also have my mini catalog launch coming up this Saturday, the 28th at 10 o'clock. If anybody local is interested. We make 6 cards, and guess what? This is one of the 6 cards that's going to be made that day. You make 6 cards for $20, or the class is free with a $30 purchase before shipping and tax. I always have cash and carry. We have door prizes. We have thank you gifts. We have snacks. We have all kinds of good stuff. So there's plenty of room for more people to come. Okay. So I've got these 2 pieces ready, and I am going to work on my lantern right now. So just to save time, guys, I already pre-cut a lantern out. And when I cut this lantern, I thought, I want something behind there. So I grabbed some vellum, and I liked how that looked. So what I did was I cut a piece out of vellum, one of the lanterns out of vellum, and I cut this square and made a template, and then I just traced it for here. So I'm just going to take a second and fussy cut that out. And I know that I have to cut inside my line a little bit just to make sure it fits. And of course, when I was looking on my table, I couldn't find my template, so I may have to make another one before I prep for class on Saturday. So this was our first week getting back to classes in 2023, and it was so nice. I had my Wednesday night class, I had my Sunday class. I did a class for a friend today at her daughter's house. So I've been very busy, having fun crafting. All right, so we have this cut out now. Doesn't take long. And then what I want to do, I wanted to do this now because I want it to dry. I am going to put just a little glue, a thin strip of glue along the edge of the lantern, and lay the vellum down. We'll let that dry as we're stamping the rest of the card. So this card I'm going to leave for a note card. So I'm going to leave it blank for the sentiment inside, but I will decorate the bottom. So now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to lay the vellum right on top of there, and it fits perfectly. And we'll set that aside and let that dry, okay? So see, it's just laid right on there. It looks kind of cool. Just a little something different. Little something different there. All right. I like the glue too. Do you, I do both. So Carol, at our shadow box class that I did for them today, we did a lot of gluing because with shadow boxes, they tend to dry out after a while, and I didn't want them to pull their shadow box out next year and have all the pieces falling apart. So I do tend to use a lot more glue there. So, all right, let's put that aside now. And we've got this. So now I've got my white piece. So now I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm going to get out my grid paper. I'll set this aside. And I just thought with the wildflower look on the top, I thought, well, we'll use the stamps that are grassy looking. And then we'll have the fireflies coming out of the grass. All right, let's get everything down here that I need. They're all up on my shelf above me here. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside. Kind of get my sample out here, how I did the other one. So I took the tall one, and I'm going to take that in Mossy Meadow. I'm just going to stand up here so I can see straight down. And I'm going to just fit this on the edge here. Okay. And then I'm going to do one more on the other side. Not quite as tall, just a little bit shorter. You know, because they're not always perfect and the same height. Okay. So that's it for Mossy Meadow. Now I'm going to take Old Olive with the little grass pieces, and we'll fill in some grass on the bottom. And you just kind of want to make it go different directions and different heights. Okay, got a little green in there, but you know what, that's okay. Now, we are getting a little bit of ghosting. That is not okay when it starts getting a lot of ghosting. So we're going to wipe that off and try this again, okay? So now I got to get my Mossy Meadow back out. Good thing there's always two sides, right? So let's get the big tall grass in there again. Put another one here. And now let's try and do that little grass without getting our little ghosty ring around there. Let's see what Mary can do this time. You just never know. There's one. Do one like that. Put another one up there. Get one down here. And one more. There we go. That turned out much, much better. All right, so I'm going to put that away so I don't put my hand in any ink. Okay, now we're going to use Rich Razzleberry, and we are going to do our little nice little swirl there of fireflies. And I'm just going to have them come in right out of the grass. Just like that. And that's as simple as it gets on the inside. You could put more grass in there if you want to. I like it the way it is, so I'm okay. I'm going to leave it, but maybe I'm not. I keep thinking about it. Do I want a little more there? Maybe. Why not? Just a little filler. How about that? We'll do one there. There we go. A little bit more in there. And we're good. Sometimes it's best to just leave it alone. Less is more, right, guys? Less is more. Okay. So now I'm going to take that and I will attach that to the inside with a little adhesive. We'll just lay that down there. There we go. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty with that color. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to get a hold of my lantern, and I'm going to take my dimensionals, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on here. You see a hair hanging there. There's one. I just put 2 on the bottom, and then I put 2 up on the top wherever I have a little fat piece. So we go like that, and we can put that on the card. That one's off, that one's off, and that one. Okay. So now I'm going to put it up just a tad from the bottom, 1/8 of an inch or so. So we've got that. Okay. All right. And now the next thing we have to do is our fireflies. So here, if you can see on there or not, I put the dot right on the top of them, so they just kind of glow all over and they're shiny. But again, I think if with cutting it out, I wanted to have the gold on it. If I were just, I could have just put a gold dot underneath here and left that Blackberry Bliss or Rich Razzleberry, but I actually didn't know how it would look on the pink, so I just did it this way. So what we would do, what I ended up doing was taking the Rich Razzleberry and with my firefly, which looks like a bumblebee. I used it as a bumblebee for something else. And then just stamped out a couple of those. And then I had some old golden glitz, so that's what I used. Because this was shimmery gold, I dug out my old golden glitz. And then I just kind of put them on top of the firefly. And it's very subtle. It's not heavy duty at all. In fact, these are very, very light, very subtle. And I didn't want to have you wait for me to cut them out. So, by the magic of TV, I already have them cut out. And these are a little bit darker in the gold. So I already have these ready. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put 3 dimensionals on the back of here. And before I adhere this to the card or put the rest of my decorations on, I'm going to take 24 inches of twine, and I'm going to go to the top here and leave a little tail here because I want to tie a bow, and then just wrap it around twice. I know that's a lot of twine, but one time just wasn't enough for me, so we had to do 2, so it was a little bit thicker. And we'll just tie a little bow on the side here. I do have a tweezers. I have tweezers for my customers all to use, and I still use my snips as my 3rd finger there. And then we'll get this the way I want it shaped. The little curve on the end there. Let's get some of that off. Here we go. I have my little twine and my bow, and I've got that, you know what, about 1 inch up or so. Because then this will end up, this part of the card will end up being even with the bottom and then up here. So I know it looks like I've got to pull that down just a little bit more. So maybe 3/4 to a 1/2 inch up. Okay. And then I'm going to pull the paper off of my dimensionals, and we'll get that on, and we'll finish up with the decorating and the envelope, and that'll be all it needs. So I look and I try and get this lined up on the bottom and then centered in here, and then I can press it down with my dimensionals, making sure my bow stays out. There we go. So it's on there with the dimensionals. You could tape it down or glue it down if you prefer. If you wanted it flatter, that would be fine too. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is take a mini dimensional and put one behind each firefly. So we'll have a little depth to this card. I never have them all flat. Something is always lifted up. How about you guys? I bet you do the same thing I do, right? You got to have a little fun with it. We'll put one right over here, going that way, and then we'll put another one up here a little bit farther, going that way. Okay, so there they are, a little shine around them. And then I'm going to get out the gems. We'll get out our pastel adhesive back sequins. We'll use the gold. We'll use both sizes. There's 2 sizes. We'll get out our pick tool, and I'm going to use 2 small and 1 of the big ones. Okay, so we'll just put one right here, and let's put one right up here, and then I'll get one of the bigger ones from this side, and we'll put that right up in that space there. And that is it for the card. I hope you like it. And now we've got to decorate, of course, the envelope, right? We have to do the envelope. Okay. So for the envelope then, I took the larger of the fireflies, the largest one, and then I'll do that also in rich raspberry. Get some of that stuff off to the side. Alrighty. We'll just put him in the corner. Pretty. And then I've got the gold, and there's a dot for every size firefly. This one will try and go down just a little bit farther. And there he is. He's just lighting the corner. Maybe that does look a little nicer when you're stamping it on purpose. He's just lighting or on flat surface, not to cut out. So that's pretty cool. So there you go, guys. My blank note card. You could put hello in there. You can leave it blank. You can do whatever you want with it, but it's just such a fun, springy, summery card. I love it, and I hope you do too. Hope if you're local, you can join one of my events coming up, and I hope you join me next week too for my next Sundays at 7. Have a great week, and thank you all so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. You know I love crafting, and I hope you love it as much as I do. Take care and have a great week. Bye-bye now.